So before we dig into Ascension Symptoms, talk about what they are, why they're happening, and how to alleviate them, I want to share this very important quote with you that I really want you to remember going forward through this Ascension Symptom kind of journey, dark night of the soul. So this quote, this little poem comes from the Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East books. It is in the third volume, but it goes a little something like this. When you come to the Red Sea place in your life, when in spite of all you can do, there is no way back, there is no way round, there is no other way but through. Know God with a soul serene, and the dark and the storms are gone. God stills the winds, God stills the waves. God says to your soul, go on, go on, go on, go on. So that poem I just shared with you is very important to me. It's something that's helped me through these different points in my life when I'm holding on to resistance and I'm not allowing the wellness to flow through me, to allow that gentle, infinite intelligence to take care of my body. And so I want you to really practice repeating that to yourself when times are difficult. It's helped me a lot, and I know it's going to help you too. As a matter of fact, right now I've been repeating that to myself because I am currently going through some Ascension symptoms. Obviously, these are physical symptoms. But I'm going to share a quick little story with you, and then we're going to dig a little bit deeper. So I went to Mexico with my wife in early June, or late May, early June, and started feeling pressure in my rib, my lung, while we were in Mexico. 2 days later, I developed a sickness, an actual physical cold or COVID, very likely COVID. That lasted about a week and a half, 10 days to 14 days. All of a sudden, middle of June, I wake up one morning after all the symptoms of the stuffy nose, the cough, all that has dissipated, and I have hives all over my body. Not fun, very itchy all day long, incredibly uncomfortable, itchy, redness. Picture is right here of me going to the ER that night. Yeah, that's fun. So that happens. They give me some medication, they help subdue the hives. Nothing's really wrong. They find a little tiny fluid between my lung and my rib cage. Who knows what that is, right? It's all these physical causations. I then start questioning, obviously, like I normally do when something physical happens. I always know there's an underlying physical, metaphysical, psychosomatic cause. Our bodies are trying to indicate something to us. I get better Tuesday. Wednesday, I feel horrible again. I feel more sick. I feel far more itchy. I go back to the ER. Now, I forgot to mention that I also had this tightness in my left jaw the first night, very tight, or excuse me, the right jaw, because the hives were climbing up my face, as you saw in that picture. My right jaw was very tight. My airway was open completely, but I had a horde of symptoms. Went back Wednesday. Now, not only is my left jaw tight, I have what I feel like is a lump in my throat. The hives are still there. I can't even open my left eye because it feels like something is scratching the inside of my left eye. No hive to be seen. And my eyes are very itchy. So they do more tests. They do CAT scans. They do more of this. They do more of that. Guess what? Still can't find the causation. Something is happening. My body's having a weird reaction to this COVID virus. And it's coming out in the form where I'm going to have to understand something about the resistance that I'm holding on to. So Sean and I are in the hospital room. We're having this discussion. I break down and start crying. The stress that I'm feeling from deciding to not move forward with her on a business that we were going to open really overwhelms me. Not only that, but I feel as if I have this major purpose in my life. Part of this is sharing this information with you who's watching this right now. And I don't feel worthy enough to fulfill that purpose. I feel Like it's too big of a task. It's too much to ask. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you've already seen that the Council of 11 told me it wasn't about needing to feel worthy. It was a choice I made, and I just have to fulfill the task and the promise that I made. I wasn't chosen for this. It's because I answered a call. So with all that being said, there's my story. However, there's not an end to that story, because currently at this moment, for the last 2 weeks, as soon as the hives disappeared, I've been experiencing severe shortness of breath. A feeling in my chest like something is holding on to my chest, restricting the airflow. However, upon making this is the best day I've felt in 2 weeks. I went to the doctor this morning. I'm still having some residual stuff from that little fluid buildup in the interstitial space, in the pleural space of my lung, or between my lung and my rib cage. However, now you have all these symptoms. I have this tightness in my chest. I have this locked jaw in my jaw. I have extreme itching and hives. I have redness all over me. The shortness of breath, I think I already said that. Lump in my throat, I think I already said that. Anyways, you can go back and watch all that. But I have all these horde of symptoms. And so, I start investigating. What's the first book that I look to? Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. She has great stuff. It's very important. We can find these answers ourselves by questioning what's going on, and the answers will come to us. However, it's often great to have a reference tool. That's a great reference tool. The second one is Soul Speak by Julia Cannon, Dolores Cannon's daughter. It's another great reference tool to understand what's going on with you. So at the end of the day, my story included, Ascension Symptoms are going to be personalized for you. I'll put the blog post. It's from Denise Fay, and she has a really good list of Ascension Symptoms and stuff like that you can look at. However, these symptoms are going to be individual to you. You could be having joint pain, you could be having fatigue, you could be having some of the symptoms I mentioned, you could be having heart palpitations, heart problems, you could be having digestive issues, you could be having a whole horde of stuff going on, hearing things, ringing in the ears. There's just so many things, but they're individual to you. And each one is communicating something to us individually. So for me, the lockjaw was not being able to express fully myself, like kind of holding back. And the side is dependent. Left is the past or the feminine, right is the present or the masculine. So it switched sides from Monday to Wednesday. The lungs, the inability to take in breath, to take in life, right? Feeling secure with life. The lump in my throat, again, not being able to express myself fully, or not expressing myself fully, right? Not feeling worthy to express myself fully. Who's going to want to watch this video? Who's going to want to listen to me talk? Etc. The hives, the rash. That one is interesting. I forget what that exactly means, but for me, I've come to understand it's this difficulty with accepting my physicality, accepting how I'm changing, the lack of love for the body that I have and that possess, but also these hives, they are deep hidden fears. And so for me, deep hidden fears are rooted in being physically sick again with cancer. It's a huge one for me because of my experience of going through that cancer treatment for 7 years. I don't want to go through it again. And so oftentimes these fears about having to experience something or having to go back into those deep roots of my psyche and acknowledge this pain and this discomfort that's still there from trying my best to speak on it and to investigate it, but life is going to leave a scar. Experience is going to leave a scar. I heard this when this author was talking about writing my book, and she said, write from the scar, not the wound. In Ascension Symptoms, what they are is this representation of the scars that are still present and potentially, very likely, some wounds that are still open that have not scarred over. For you, that's going to be very individualized. You watching this right now, you're going to have specific symptoms. They are physical. They are also in nature metaphysical, spiritual, psychosomatic. Our bodies are communicating information to us why certain physical symptoms manifest. The problem with ascension symptoms, this is the most maddening thing about them, is that as you begin this ascension journey, like we did in our last video, go check that one out, the ascension signs that you're awakening signs. When you begin, this is my favorite analogy, if you have a cup with soot in it, and you start pouring clear water in there, you start pouring more joy, more clarity, more peace, more spirit, right? More source, more universe, more God force into that cup. What tends to happen? The soot, the dirt, the sand begins to spin in the water cup. As you continue to fill that water up, those soot, those dirt speckles, that rock comes up out of the water cup. And so those are our ascension symptoms until we pour enough water in there and that water is now clear. It's kind of a good analogy. Our soul is clear regardless. Our bodies, our minds hold on to resistance, and as we begin to elevate ourselves through the work, which is the gratitude practice, the meditation, the clarity of mind, the clarity of heart, beginning to recognize that there is an indwelling presence constantly, permanently within you. We can call that your soul, we can call that your spirit, God, whatever it is constantly with us, our inner being. And so that is communicating something to our psyche, our conscious mind, that we are not paying attention to, and that there are issues still there. We're always going to have issues. We're always going to have scars. However, if the wound is still slightly open, that is going to be shown to be an issue for you, an awakening symptom. These symptoms, what they are and why they're happening, what we just discussed, is also important because it helps you develop more clarity and more expansion. So we're experiencing these symptoms. I'm experiencing, I'm pretty good right now. Obviously, I've not had to take too many deep breaths while we're doing this video. But when we have a physical contrasting experience, a negative situation, we ask for the opposite of that. And so our soul is expanding. And so it's this kind of twofold game where you're elevating yourself, you're pouring the water in, your vibration is moving upward. However, there's some rocks, there's some kinks in your armor, in your path, and so you're going to have to remove this. But secondly, these symptoms are causing you to ask for more wellness, more health, more abundant health, right? This robust, beautiful physical body, mental body, and spiritual body. And so as a result of that, your soul, our soul, your inner being expands and becomes that, which then calls us forward to them, right? That your inner being is attracting you as much as you think you're attracting it down. It's more of a catch-up game to where your inner being already is. Our inner being is attracting us, and we just have to align with where they are. So it's this kind of twofold game of you're elevating, you're moving upward, you're clearing the dust, the soot. However, that resistance is holding you kind of stuck, and then you're asking for more clarity, which your soul expands to, which then you are also going to move to as you continue to do the work. Now that's what you've really come for, right? You know what ascension symptoms are. Now, how are you going to get rid of them? Here we go. So my first suggestion on how to get rid of your ascension symptoms is investigate them, meaning allow them to be. It's very difficult to allow certain things to be. I know when I was having heart palpitations from all the anger I was holding on to, it was extremely difficult because as soon as I had heart palpitations, I felt shortness of breath. I felt this discomfort like you wouldn't imagine. My nervous system got all shocked. The shortness of breath that I've been experiencing the last 2 weeks, incredibly uncomfortable. I hate feeling restriction, like I can't get all of that air all the way in and it's just a little bit stuck, like I'm just a little bit stuck and I just can't get it all the way in, it's very uncomfortable. However, if you can find a little bit of satisfaction, meaning a little bit of relief, bask in those moments. So every time that and when you bask in those moments, before I get ahead of myself, ask yourself, what are you teaching me? It's a very difficult process to, I know that you're watching this and you're struggling right now. Investigate it. I've done a video years ago about the eight steps to heal your body. It's very important that you acknowledge where you are in this process. So when you're having a physical manifestation of an ascension symptom, you have a wound, maybe a childhood trauma wound, maybe an adult childhood or adult trauma wound. Maybe you have, that's it. You got childhood and you got adult trauma wounds. They're all that. You're holding yourself in resistance in one way or another. You have to investigate those. You have to self-reflect. You have to go inward. And you just have to question what the frick is going on. If you can get quiet enough and you can really kind of put your mind into that space, you will find the answer. So for me, I did a little self-hypnosis where I felt my lungs, I did some Sudarshan Kriya, and then I went in there and I just asked my lungs, like, what the heck is going on? What is happening? What is this residual discomfort that I'm feeling? And my answer was just, it's this restriction that you're still holding on to. It's your controlling of how you think things should be. It's your inability to allow life to move through you. And it's you forcing things, Zach, the mind, trying to force things instead of allowing spirit to move through you. And it's a practice. So that's what I got. That may not be the exact same for you, but it is that final one. It is you not allowing spirit, your inner being, God, the universe, source, to move through you freely. It is a resistance that you're holding on to, and it's just going to help clear up your psyche and your understanding of that if you can self-reflect, if you can investigate it. That's the first thing. The second thing I would recommend is, if that doesn't work, reference a book, a tool. They've got them on the internet, like Heal Your Body. It'll just give you a little jump start to look into it more. It'll help you acknowledge consciously what you're already feeling subconsciously and what your body's trying to communicate to you. So look into that. See if you find, if it clicks with you. If it doesn't, then okay, maybe that's not it. Maybe you have to investigate it more. But oftentimes these metaphysical causes do relate with a lot of us, and it'll help you just get some conscious awareness of what's happening so that you can delve into that and let it go. Number 3 is, I would not give up. These are all like one, they're all one. But remind yourself, there are so many quotes. I can give you another one. This is also from the Life and the Teachings of the Far East. During the darkest hour, I know that God is. During the times that I'm afraid, I trust more definitely in God, my Father, right within. I rest quietly in this assurance, knowing fully that, that all is well and my perfection is complete and finished now. These are things that I tell myself all the time when they're happening. I have a whole list of things that I remind myself of. Develop a list, or just reference the stuff that I just told you and use those as yours. There's plenty of stuff in the Bible. There's plenty of stuff. The wound is where the light enters you. That's a short one from let darkness be your messenger. You know, that's another roomy one. There's just so many of them. But do not allow yourself to get psychologically completely fatigued, and ask for help. Ask for help. I've been cultivating, the last 2 weeks, I've been working so diligently on my faith and feeling that spirit, that presence of God, of divinity, of the universe, of source, of the eternal being that is all of us within myself. And it takes practice, and it takes diligence, and it takes determination. But if you'll do it, nothing's more important than that you feel good, right? And that's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you've been listening this long to this video. You want to feel better. Do that. Work inwardly Know that there's a spirit within you that wants to heal you, that wants you to be well, because that spirit is well. Your body is just holding resistance. It wants you to be well. It is wellness. It is who you are. So allow it to flow. Allow the divine light to flow from the core of your being outward. You are a child of the divine. Accept that, know that, and live from that. And these things will begin to ease. The body takes a little bit of time. The manifestations take time. But if you can allow yourself to just feel a little bit better every single day, you're on the right path. You will get better. You're doing the right things. Another thing that I would add is that you begin to change your diet, right? Your physical diet, and that could be caused by your awakening signs already, awakening symptoms already. But change your diet, eat more live foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and be present with the food, appreciate the food, and incorporate some movement, incorporate some exercise. It doesn't have to be something hard. And I know I had chronic fatigue 2 years ago that was also part of this. I know my body's full of resistance. I feel it, and that's why I'm trying. I want you to be out of resistance, and I want all of us to be out of resistance. But when I had that severe chronic fatigue and I felt like I couldn't do anything, I had to do something. You just have to do something. It doesn't mean you have to be 100%, but you have to move your body. Those cells will appreciate you. They will appreciate the food that you're giving them, the nourishment that you're giving them. You're giving them life when you're outside in nature, fresh air, smelling the trees, listening to the birds. These are things that uplift the body. The cells of the body have their own consciousness. They have their own awareness. They're like humans on the earth. Our body is the earth, and the cells are each human being. You need to nourish those cells. Nourish them with all the good things you can possibly think of. If you don't know what they are, look on another YouTube video. I'm sure somebody else has got something for you. And that's it. That's what you can do. You can try energy work, you can reach out for a healer, you can try all of these things, but at the core, all of these things are a result of the resistance within you. So if you feel like you can't tap into that resistance and you need an energy healer, if you go to the doctor. I've gone to the doctor 3 times now in the last 2 months, and use the medicine that is there to help subdue the symptoms while we can work on the psychology, the underlying cause, and then dig into that. Help yourself in any way you can. If you have to take the medication, it's okay. That's a form of divinity as well. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't benefiting us. So use all forms of healing, including the Western medical ideal, okay? So that's it for today. It's a long video. You made it through. I hope this helps you. I really do. I've been struggling with this, and I've been hesitating to make this video because I'm like, who the heck am I to make this video when I'm experiencing these symptoms? But it's probably the best time to do this video for you guys because I am experiencing it right now, and I'm going through it with you. And I want you to be free of it. I really do. And we are going to be free of it. We just have to keep taking a step forward. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Just keep taking a step. One step. The next step. Just keep moving forward. And being grateful for those moments of relief. I didn't mention that. Be grateful for the moments when you feel relief. Say, indwelling presence, I'm so grateful for the ability to breathe in fully and feel that air fill my lungs. I'm so grateful for the energy that I'm feeling in this moment. I'm so grateful for the clarity that I'm feeling in this moment. Thank you so much. I know that you are with me, you are inside me, you are working on my body in this very moment. I'm so grateful, and I appreciate you, and I love you. Make that your mantra. It's helped me a lot the last week and a half, and I want it to work for you. So that's it for today. If you like this, if somebody else is experiencing this, share this with them. Watch this again and again and again. If you're losing clarity, give me some comments of things that you've experienced, things that have helped you, or that you're going through right now, and if you need some feedback, maybe I can help. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I will see you guys next time. I love you.